How many days? How many days after full completion of payment do I get my title deed?
Um, within, for example, the Kisumu one, within 60 days.
Within 60 days.
Yes, you have your title
I'm
deed.
good to go.
Yeah.
Good. Number two, when somebody goes to do the due diligence, even at the Ministry of Lands and everything, you have already procured the lands and it's ready for sale.
Yes. It's in username, name, the mother title.
The mother title,
Yes.
the username property.
Yes.
Guys, I mean, what other assurance do you have? Nataka Yesu akuja kukatia wewe mwenyewe ndio wewe ndio ujichukulie shamba.
But quiet does not mean you are very good. You must have your own episodes, right? In terms of making so
Love
much
letters.
noise.
You didn't write like love
Well, I'm
letters.
not going to talk about that today. Not willing.
No, you see, you already sold yourself out, Chairman, when you say it. With the time, people change. That's when you sold out
With
yourself.
time people change. What happened is
Ladies and gentlemen, live on Kenya's fastest growing podcast, this is Lessons at 30 with Dr. Ofweneke. My name is the Eagle himself, the Duke of Kakamega. Dr. Ofweneke is my name, and of course, asanteni sana. I can never start the show without saying just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are a grateful lot, and of course, we must share the spirit of just being appreciative of how first the YouTube, Dr. Ofweneke TV YouTube page is going. To all those who have joined us, asanteni sana. And of course, we move from different areas. We move from matters, relationship, growing up, trauma. And I told you the days will actually also be talking about investments, of course, because even the Bible says that he who that leaves inheritance for his children is wise. So just know, if you're not leaving anything for your children, you're not wise. No matter how rich you think you are not wise. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my very favorite clients. And of course, I have actually procured also some pieces of land from them as well. And you guys have been seeing them since day one on Lessons at 30, using and properties. And today, we want to dig into matters land. And I think we're getting to an age whereby owning a land, one, is a must. Number two, it has been made very extremely affordable, whichever part of the country. And you actually, for whatever purpose you have, whether investment or settling down, you will always get a piece of land for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, we better get into it. And we're going to be seeing, talking about matters culture, matters generational, matters availability of finances. Why do people actually buy land? And I really want my people from the western part of Kenya, especially to my Luya people, let's see why we're not buying, because I don't get why we don't buy land as much as our cousins or from the Murima area. And I think maybe the reasons wale waluyo wanabai mashamba siku hizi nasikia, the joke is because we married ladies from Murima, so they've been teaching us how to buy lands. But hey, lazima tuweze kubai mashamba. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a special paid episode, probably powered by Using and Properties, actually the biggest, most trustworthy and most efficient lands company that I know myself. And I know there are a lot of proteges around the country. I know there are a lot of briefcase companies as well. But I can tell you, these guys have been in the game for the longest time. And why they've been in the longest time, why do I trust them, is because many years back, ladies, I think almost 6-7 years back, I was sent on on a stand-in role by my big brother Jalango when they were launching some shambas up in the Ngong Hills. And ladies and gentlemen, if all these is they're still in the game, this should prove to you that these guys are truly trustworthy. So I don't know where else you think you want to buy a piece of land. I don't know why you're being stressed about your title deed, about efficiency, about even availability of resources of the area and the environment you want to buy. If you have not contacted Username. Later on in this video, I'll also be playing some small clips of the shambas that are available that you can actually procure and actually even just call in on the info number on the squeeze back and get yourself a piece of land. Ladies and gentlemen, without talking too much, sit back, relax, get a piece of paper and a pen, and let's talk matters land. But before that, let's get to know, did he just wake up one day and decided, you know what, I'm going to start selling shamba? No, there must be a story behind how Username was birthed. Ladies and gentlemen, an amazing gentleman, one of the top entrepreneurs in this town, and the founder and the brains and the visionary behind Username Properties, the chairman of the board of directors. Please, students of less than 30, welcome the one and only Mr. Ruben Kimani. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much.
Karibu, sir. Bro, the last time I saw you, chair, maze, naona gym. Mono mengia hivi nikasema umza ana protect land, ana protect mashamba. Security. You don't need security anymore. How have you been?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to see you again.
Good.
I'm glad to be here.
The last time tuliona ni kitambo sana.
Yeah, quite a long time.
Quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think tulikuwa kwa shamba huko Ngong.
I can't remember quite well, but of course you've been working with you.
Yes.
Of course we have been meeting online as well.
Kama kawaida. Bana shukuru sana. How have you been? How's everything been?
Okay. I don't know for how long I can go back, but things have been fine. Things have been good, and we thank God for this.
Amen for that. Amen for that.
In business, on personal and stuff like that, the company, especially on Username, maybe I'll dwell so much on what Username has been, what Username is doing. Of course, 1 year ago, we decided to change the way we do things as an organization, simply because we wanted to go to the next level. We don't stay at one level.
You've already conquered that mountain.
Whether in business, in life, you have to find ways of growing. And ways of growing, someone said if you want to move very fast, you move alone. Yes. You want to move far, move with other people. You can't work alone for you to grow. And we discovered and we knew time will come for the organization. When the organization becomes way bigger than any one of us, we have to ensure we empower many other people to be able to drive the vision and the agenda. So on the business front, we have been doing well, and we thank God for it. Of course, the business environment has not been very good. Everyone knows that. But we believe we are thriving and we are growing and we are following our plan as we had intended.
You planned it,
Yeah.
How do you know that organization has matured enough to grow, to move to the next level?
Wow, I think that's a difficult question. Sometimes you have to base it on the objectives that were set for that organization. Because if you go to the US, you have billion-dollar organization, trillion shilling dollar organizations. Now it reaches a point where you realize you cannot be able to know all the aspects of the business that you are running. Especially for entrepreneurs, if you are listening to me, it reaches a point where you cannot be able to be the secretary, you cannot be able to be the marketer, you cannot be able to be the guy who is running petty cash.
And now social media manager as well.
Then it goes to another level where now, you see, when we started the business, I could read all the emails, actually. All the emails that were sent, there were groups. You can go through them in a few hours. Of course, right now I can't. It reaches a point where you realize you cannot be able to control the aspect of the business as one person as you used to be. But I started by saying it depends with the objective of the business that were set. There are businesses that are set from the onset where you know if this organization reaches this level, I think at this level we can be able to know when to hire more people, maybe when to get a manager, and maybe to go back to be able to answer the question better. When we started, most of the things we were doing based on need. It's not based on saying after year 5 you'll get a man. No. It's usually based on need. We started by selling, and I remember I used to be the receptionist used to be the guy who is selling, used to be the guy receiving the
You're the
calls.
sales, you're the one
You
planning
are-
the
basically, you are
visits.
doing everything. But it is a point where you realize there's a time we started advertising and we got so many calls. I think we used to get 1,000 SMSs per day. At that point, you realize you need like more than 10 people so that everyone can handle 100.
Yes.
So as we went along, we realized every time the work increases or the opportunity becomes bigger, you need to be able to get other people on board. At some point, when you have 10 people, you need someone to be able to manage
Manage
that
and,
team, to ensure efficiency and stuff like that. Now you have to hire a manager. So over the last like 10 years, we have been doing that. Every time is usually based on need. And I think need-based, especially if you are looking at adding the number of people who are working in the organization, need-based recruitment is usually the best, where you evaluate, you realize, I'm getting so many customers. What do I need? I need more people to be able to take care of them. You have customer relationship managers. You need more people to be able to take care of their problems. You know, title deed in this country is a
Yes,
big deal.
it's a big
You need
problem.
people to be able to talk to those are customer experience executive. You need other people to take care of the money. Especially right now, we have more than 20,000 customers. You can't have one accountant.
Of course you
It's
can't.
not possible.
It's
So you
overwhelming.
keep hiring based on the needs
Need.
that are there. But like I said, the objectives matter a lot, and the objectives are the ones that drive in the vision of any business. You say by year one, we want to people do business plan. By year one, you want to reach this, year two, this level, year five, this level. And you follow that vision, you'll have a very big organization.
So the vision,
The
the
other-
vision actually advises
Yeah.
the need as you
The
progress.
vision, the let me start with the objectives, and these are targets. You say by year one, I want to be able to move this number of terms of revenue, maybe 100 million, 200 million. Then from there, you know you'll need more people. But remember, you have to work very hard to reach there for you to need those people.
Exactly.
The business grow very slowly. Yeah. So I think that explain a bit. But something else I wanted to say in terms of when you know your business has outgrown you, apart from knowing, it is when you want to be able to go to the next level, but your hands are just two, your eyes are two, your ears are two. And maybe the team you have, you realize they are so overwhelmed and you want to go to the next level of growth. At that point, even if the business is not so old, you will need to get more qualified people. Some of us, and myself, I'm an entrepreneur. God created us with unique capability. We are not the same.
We're not the same.
You have to really have discerning spirit to know what is your role in this world, purpose, and all that kind of, so that you know this is where my strengths lie. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I may not do well. I know we have Sarah here. There are people who are better CEO. Entrepreneurs sometimes don't make the best CEOs. They are there, take care of, see opportunities, grab them as fast as possible, get resources. We are talking about people, capital, and all that kind of stuff, and move and make a business out of it. The moment a business is made, most of them are not able to grow it. You get another person who is more experienced, better in that area, and they drive the agenda. And I think you may have seen this even in the West. Bill Gates is no longer the CEO of
Yeah,
Microsoft.
he got tired.
He's not even the chairman. He got at right now we have an Indian who is a CEO. Bill Gates, he's not so old. He can still run the organization. But his strength does not lie in managing and growing the organization at that level. His strength lies in taking advantage of opportunities, getting resources, and driving them very fast to a point where you have a big organization. So it's very important if you're an entrepreneur out there, you need to know at what point you need to allow other people to run it so that it can grow way faster. You may not have that capability yourself. Some of us are not as patient, actually. For entrepreneurs,
You're
they're not
talking
very
to the reason
patient.
why I'm listening keenly, apart from just being a host, I'm missing because and now I'm realizing I'm an entrepreneur. Because that's why I in my company I make sure I got very professionals in whichever docket, from marketing, PR, communication to digital, creative, and production. Because it is for me the opportunities I have met Ruben. Ruben, how can my company become an agency? I've roped in, I've made sure things are working, I move on to the next one.
That is very good, actually. And you have mentioned something very important. You have to work with professionals, even in the real estate sector. we keep telling our customers, please work with professionals. That's why username exists. Username exists is a group, is a pool of very qualified people, very good professionals who know what they are doing. And once you come to us, you can sleep without the fear of being conned and stuff like that, because we know what you are doing. Most people want to do things themselves. They are not qualified. Lawyers go to school for like, is it 6 years
6
or
years.
whatever?
It's
just
over
to
four,
learn.
4 years
And
in
then,
basic law, then the other one's 2 years
doctors
in
go to
KSL.
school for how many years? 12 years.
Almost 12 years.
They are professionals go and train for so long so that they can be able to do what you are trying to do in a few days. So it's good to work with professional organizations like Username Professionals all around. Even in business, there are people who, you see, they say cheap is expensive. There are people who try to get shortcuts. And if you come to Username, I keep saying one of our biggest core values is professionalism. We realize this real estate sector from where we are coming from. People used to do things kiududo kienyeji way. I mean, you wake up, you go see a poster somewhere. You do your things in a way, and that's why people get con. But if you work with people who know what they are doing, they follow the procedure, follow the process like Username does, you can be able to achieve way more. Even for entrepreneurs, you can actually say, like the way you are saying you have employed professional, you can actually say cost cut, get people who are not qualified, pay them lower. Maybe you can pocket that money. But we don't work to save money in business. We don't work because of expenses. We work because we want to take advantage of opportunities. I'm looking at how much I'm making more than how much I'm spending. If I can make 100 billion and spend, say, 90 billion, that's 10 billion profit, right?
Yes.
Some people will say, why should I spend? And I'll give you a story. I've made friends because we advertise a lot. One of the most expensive media stations, I'll not mention them, is a TV station. We have been there for so long. Even some local TV station, not local, I mean Kikuyu TV station, because you advertise. They are very
Regional,
expensive.
we call them regional.
So somebody is asking, how would you pay someone 2 million a week just to advertise, and you're not getting nothing out of it? Then I realized we are not the same. I'm not looking at the 2 million I'm paying per week. I'm looking at more than 50 million I can make in business from the 2 million I'm investing in the media. That's how business works. We don't look at expenses. We try as much, though expenses matter, we try as much as possible to look at the opportunities. Opportunity to make money, revenue, whatever you call it. So for entrepreneurs, I think it's better to focus on how you can be able to take advantage of, make money and make revenue and all that kind of stuff, instead of looking at hiring or getting people who are not
The
qualified,
corridor, yes.
so that you can pocket that money. It doesn't work like
To
that.
spend on professionals.
Yeah, you need to spend on professional services, professional people, professionalism, and you'll do way better than the guy who was trying to save the money. They should be professionals. That's how it works.
I'm
It's
already
not
getting
easy
something.
to understand, but some people will.
But of course, you had to learn it the hard way, of course, in the beginning.
Most people have to learn the hard way because it's not easy to accept what I'm saying to be true. But of course, people will say, you see, like architects, for example, are surveyors, are very expensive. Then you forget, like if you are building a home more than 10 million and you are refusing to pay maybe 50,000 for a professional, you pay someone 10,000, then the house goes down. You lose your 10 million. I think if you look at things that way, we can be able to move ways faster.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're on page 3 of the wisdom that is flowing down, especially for the upcoming entrepreneurs. Let's just move a little bit back. Most entrepreneurs either didn't end up studying what they wished, or they actually studied what they wished, but didn't end up practicing. Who is Ruben in that small shots down in the village? Which village is this? Back in the years.
I have, I think I've heard you mention when I was in shots.
Yes.
How do you know I was in shots?
Hey, I don't know. You look like you struggled to get here. You look like you struggled to get here. Haujaiva shots. Usiniambie ulikuwa unavaa trousers ukienda shuleni ba.
I know I was wearing shorts. Anyway, that is long time ago. I think it takes me back many years ago. Ruben was born and I was born in Nyandarua, the current. It used to be a district.
Yes, that's
Then,
the
but I was
Nyandarua
brought
County.
up in Laikipia. I mean, they are neighboring actually. It
Literally,
was a border.
yes.
Huh? So what happened is my dad used to be a government civil servant. Yeah. So what happens? He used to move a lot. I mean, could be transferred from one area to another. So we used to move together with him. So I've traversed the country actually, Nyandarua, Laikipia, Kiambu, and stuff like that. So most of my schooling was done in Laikipia, both primary and high school.
High school as well.
You see, high school, once you, most of the time, you used to have that quota system where they admit you, I don't know whether it's 75% or 85%, they are admitted within the district.
area.
The area. So that's how I schooled. And I finished high school in the year 2002. Yeah,
Ulikuwa
I
election
realized
tu Kibaki, wewe ukitoka Kibaki anaingia.
but I think I came at the right time.
So you didn't enjoy the free education.
No worries. You see, when he came, things started changing. That is a fact. The economy and stuff like that. And I think most people, if you ask most people in the country, you realize the economy really shifted from
Yes,
2000.
at that, yes.
Even the property market, actually, those people who entered in the year 2004, 2005, they did an amazing job because they really got serious opportunity. I look at where I used to school in Juja. I used to be in JKUAT. See, Juja right now is it's a big residential.
It's now becoming a
settlement.
whole
And of course, with
cosmopolitan.
very expensive properties. That time it was not like that. Actually, just after Juja, I think you can be able to see the right side as you go to Thika.
Yes.
It used to be one house. I mean,
So like a plantation
and
too.
a lot of bushes and antelopes and stuff like that. That time, and of course, people are selling. But I think, shockingly, plots were being sold for 25,000
At that time.
Yes, just near the tarmac.
Kai?
And there was some
Why
coffee
didn't I know?
plantation. Of course, you should not say that because, okay, it's good to say that. But what you should know
Yes.
is when you know, now you start doing things.
When you know, you know.
Yeah. But there is no regret. You can say, I wish I knew. But when you know, what are you doing about it?
But even at that time, where would I have gotten 25,000 even at that time?
That time it was a lot of money, just like today.
Yes.
Even those people who used to, in 1970s, they used to do those adjudication for land schemes. Then you hear someone paying like 1,000, and it was a lot of money. At any given point in life, I believe you have to really push yourself.
Yes.
Even today, you're selling a property for $500,000, it's still a lot of money.
To somebody, yes.
In 20 years to come, somebody may wonder, why couldn't you afford that money? But what I'm saying, when you know something, you change. So I schooled in JKU, did computer science and finished in 2008, graduated.
Is this what you wanted to do? Computer science, even right from...
That time, yes.
Because I'm
What
pretty sure
happened
that's
is,
when now computers are becoming popular.
Yeah. Computers were becoming. I remember a story about. I passed my exam in Form 4 that time. When I went to pick my results, we were confused. You see, you don't know. I mean, you don't know what you want to study. Most of the time, most of us are trying. Even in old age, you'll find people ni kama unajaribu hapa.
Ikikataa,
You
songa
don't
kwa
have
hii.
clarity. You can imagine for young people. So I remember I had master talking about IT being the new field. You see the way you are talking about AI right now?
Yes.
Yes. IT was a big thing. And he was asking us, guys, instead of going to do those normal courses that people
Teaching
do,
and
or
nursing.
whatever, can you consider IT? I took a pic there and he was saying, once you finish your course in information technology, it's much easier for you to secure employment. Remember, most of us from where we are coming from, we are trying to do anything where you can be able to secure yourself. I mean, anything that can give you employment. And remember during Moi's time, I think I used to hear, I don't know whether it's true, but I think it is used to be very difficult for people to get jobs, right?
Yeah. There was that.
Coming from that, with that piece of advice from my former headmaster then, when I was picking my results, I decided I'm going to do computers.
And this time, during high school, because every time we meet, and even when I look at you even on social media, you come off very cool, calm, relaxed, focused, and I'm right on course, and you know what I'm trying to do here. Was this always Ruben, even back in high school? Aukuwa na ka notice side, unajua ka strike hapa na pale, ka unajua mimi bado ni kijana adolescent nimesumbua. Were you all this cool, calm?
I think that's a difficult question. When people change with seasons. You see,
Now you're talking.
Yeah. People change with seasons. You grow and stuff like that. I used to be very short actually in high school. That is not the physical front. I don't know what.
Ikifua iko. Or you monolized? You monolized?
I don't know whether I was the youngest or something of the sort. I was almost the shortest in class then. But of course, after leaving high school, things changed and you become very tall and you don't know with stages of growth, right? But in terms of behavioral temperament, I used to be calm. I used to be quiet. Extremely quiet. I was not those very noisemakers. But quiet does not mean you are very good. You must have your own episodes, right? In terms of making so
love
much
letters.
noise.
You didn't write love letters.
I'm not going to talk about that today. Not willing.
No, you see, you already sold yourself out, Chairman, when you say it. With the time, people change. That's when you sold out yourself.
With the time, people change. What happened is I used to be, and I believe I'm not in school. Used to be talented in education, not in other things. So
the more science, Congress.
No, not really. Actually, I used to be a member of drama club.
What?
Yeah.
What were you acting? Miming with silence game?
No, I was trying to avoid, that's why I'm saying life changes people. And you grow. What happened is that I used to... now that we are talking about this. In Form 2, we used to do cross country just nearby. And it used to be very painful. I don't know whether there is anyone who runs here. Right now I run, actually. I can do marathons.
What?
But that time it used to feel like punishment. So I figured out the best way to avoid running in school was to join drama club and music because they used to practice when you are doing cross country. That was fire, but I would rather have learned how to. We used to do dances and stuff like that, acting. I would rather learn that instead of running.
Going to run.
So I went there. I used to have, there was that learning period. And I did drama club and music from Form 2 to Form 4. Used to do quite well, actually. I learned so many things.
Did you ever get to a main
Just to
actor?
avoid to run. No. I was not a main.
You're next.
You have joined your field, actually. You never know.
Hey, I can imagine you as an actor now on TV.
But in terms of academics, that was not a problem. So what happened is, you see, if you are performing well, you become like, teachers have a soft spot for even you. When you are misbehaving. Yeah. So that really helped me.
Nice one.
Yeah.
So now you've cleared. Are you the firstborn?
No.
Middle child.
Maybe I should have started. I come from a big African family.
Typically.
Yes.
I see where you're going. Nyumba iko moja.
No, ni moja.
Nyumba ni moja.
Yeah,
lakini ni wengi. Watoto ni wengi.
Watoto ni wengi. I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters.
What?
Yes.
Wewe uko wapi hapo?
Katikati.
Yeah. Middle children mnakwambia. Did you ever feel like forgotten or something? Because I always feel like middle kids are normally forgotten. I'm
aggressive, actually. I may feel forgotten, but I'm a bit aggressive from a very young age. Silently aggressive. So you get attention, actually. You look for it.
So they will know you exist.
Alafu in the African setup, I think that was not a big issue, if I may say so.
Nah.
You see, you come from the village. The village, everyone is a parent. Yeah?
Oh, so tell that to Gen Zs, Bwana Chairman. Tell that to Gen Zs.
Right now, people have changed. People are buying my own business. I think that's especially in urban centers. Used to live like a community. You respect everyone in the community.
And anybody can punish you.
Actually. Everyone can punish you. So you realize even if you have so many children, you have many fathers and many mothers around. Right? I think in terms of feeling that, but of course that parental, I understand what you are saying. the direct relationship between you and your parent, that one can be challenged, especially if you have many children. But it never used to be a bother by the never.
Aye.
No.
You okay with that? Who are you
Right
closest
now
with?
I'm not.
Eh,
Now that I know, I'm not okay with that, especially for my own children. But in terms of that past, I think the society kind of had a way of managing that situation. Yeah.
who are you most closest to when you're growing up between mom and dad? Who are you most close?
Of course, his mom.
Mzaya alikuwa akiingia Simba imeingia.
Simba imeingia.
Oh my goodness.
But the other thing I wanted to say about that issue, because you see, these are changing times, right?
Yes.
Gen Z may not understand, especially if you're in the urban setup, is the fact that you see right now, most of the time you're at home. You wake up, you go to the farm, maybe with the exception of dad because he was working. And he used to come so many times. There are times he comes and stays for weeks. You see, you spend so much time with your parents in that setup because of circumstances. And that, I think, used to help a lot in terms of that feeling like your parents was far away and stuff like that. Because of circumstances. Na unachapwa, una nini, wanakupigia kelele. I think that was presence in some way.
Exactly.
And you know now they meant well.
But Sahih Gen Zs, you can't. Apparently, they have rights. They read for you the Children's Act of the United Nations. Yeah. But so now you have cleared your Form 4. You've gone to JQuat. You've done computer science. Do you ever get into employment? Or you're like, na mi sasa naanza kuona mashamba zimepanda kutoka 25,000 zimeanza kwenda juu. Wacha niuze mashamba. Do you get into employment at any point?
Of course, I did. I think going back to when I was young, of course, you can't say most people I see guys who pass exams, they got a prince and they are shouting, I want to be steward, neurosurgeon, lawyers, and all manner of stories. Of course, they are saying that based on what they see in the society. They don't know. Most of them don't know what they want. So I'm saying this because most of the time you don't know where you'll end up. You just pray to God that He guides you and stuff like that.
And you end up.
But sometimes as you go along, you start having experiences that shape what might happen to you or what you might do in the future. I grew up in a humble background. I know you know what that means.
Yes.
In the village. So one of the things that I used to say, I don't want to go back there. One person who never wanted to go back to the village. We used to farm, and looking back, I even I used to do my own math. No. This work is just people of subsistence farming. You just farm not for profit. So I used to see like they are doing too much work, and of course you had to do the job actually.
Yes.
Otherwise, you not stay in that house. So going to school was a way of escape. In that time, now I know better. Of course, a way of trying to find out. And when I finished, one of the things I knew I would not want is to go back there unless there are opportunities, right? So one of the things we used to do from very early, I started doing all manner of things. Remember in high school, one of my biggest trades was kushona viatu. Yeah.
When you were in school?
Yeah, when we were in school.
That's how you used to provide your own pocket money?
I used to make good money, actually. See, the way we used to have to, my parents never, they did not have enough to do that. So I used to pay my own trips. Alafu, we used to eat, I don't know whether it used to happen in your school. Mkate was a big thing. It
Oh,
was
yes.
gold.
Mkate, kaimati, and everything. that was, that was gold. That
So
was gold.
you should afford 10 shillings every day to be able to take half a loaf.
What?
It should be. So,
So ulikuwa unashona viatu saa ngapi?
after school, I think in Form 2 I figured out that I learned how to do that trade in classics out of just boredom and unaona kitu curiosity
So
nikaanza.
you start perfecting
Then I
it.
did a few slippers in the village. Slippers zilikuwa nakatika.
Yes.
See, nakatika hapa na hapa.
Kanaekelewa kaleza juu kanafunga.
Yeah. Maybe right now people don't do that.
I have never seen it. It's been a long time.
Yeah, by that time it was serious. People never used to throw things. So hapa ni 5 bob, hapa ni 10 bob, you see? And I used to have the tools. That was a lot of money for someone who is in class. So I went to high school. I realized the way the guy was charging. There's a guy who used to come every Saturday to do the job. He used to charge 30 or 40 shillings because most of the shoes zilikuwa zinaitwa aje hizo viatu.
Yani bara tafisa ama
Yeah, I think butter or something.
tafisa.
Yeah, tafi is good.
Yes.
Zilikuwa zinatokana.
Hapa mbele ziko na
So I realized if I charge 10 shillings less and I had the tools and all everything, I used to come with them. So 30 shillings in a few, like less than 30 minutes. So I used to have so many shoes in my room. We used to have cubicles. Unaweza unazificha mahali every week. So at Form 3, I had a lot. So, so what I was trying to say, there are experiences that shape your life and they inform some of the things that you can do in
the
future.
future.
So I realized I can make money. And I have done many other things in the course of life. In college, we used to apply these US green cards.
Yes. Just be on almost at the middle pages of Daily Nation back in the
By
day.
a group of people.
Eh.
Una apply mtu anakulipa. So I have done a myriad of things over time.
Wewe ukuwa apply mwenyewe? Or you never had dreams of living in the country?
I hear the people who brew alcohol don't take it. But anyway, on a light note, I was not interested. I think I was not interested for myself. I was just interested in making money. So what I was trying to say, those experiences inform some of the things you do in future. To a point where even if education was kind of okay for me, I felt like I think the best way for me to make progress, I can do business. I basically learned that I can do business. Even when I was looking for employment, I used to think maybe at some point I'll find my way into business.
Into business.
Yeah, you see that desire. You can see what other people are doing in the industries. See, you watch news, you wish, I think I can be able to do like so and so. So you get that inspiration. So when I left JQuad in 2008, I think I tarmac for almost 1 year looking for jobs. Yeah, I used to make websites. That's another business.
I mean,
You
with
see,
IT, you
IT.
were able to play around
And for
with
those
that.
who do technical skills, you can learn skills. You don't wait for certificates. I mean, I have that certificate, which very few people have ever asked for it. They are important, but the most important thing is to learn something that can make you money without being employed. Even when you're employed, we want skills. We don't want we just want papers
Service for
to confirm.
validation
Validation.
purposes.
We want to know that you have gone to school up to this level. But what we are interested in from you is your skills. So I used to make websites. Even now I can do it, but I know technologies have changed. Right now I don't have so much time.
You guys were dealing with JavaScripts.
So I remember I did more than 30 websites by the time I got a job. So they used to charge 20,000, 10,000. That's another business. Yeah, and one of the things that made us register username investment, we realized that most people want to deal with companies for confidence, believability and stuff like that. So we registered. That is actually the reason we first registered username in 2010.
2010.
So that you can be able to get bigger jobs and people will not ask
With
you
an
any
entity,
question.
not an individual.
Yeah, an entity can hide size. You don't need, people may think you have a very huge office somewhere. You just have a website and you have a business card there. You don't write a CEO at that point in time. You just write a marketing. People will not know.
I like
Most
that.
people are able to believe. And for young people, confidence and your presentation matters, right?
That pushes
Because
it.
you have the skills. What you want is a website, but most people will not give it to you unless they know they can trust you or they can have confidence in you. So that's how your username was registered. We wanted to be able to get, I remember we also registered for something that was calling AGPO. I mean, they were saying that 30% of the contracts in government should go to young people. We never pursued it anyway. So, but we are doing that so that we can have a vehicle that can give trust, confidence, and then you can get a job.
I'm learning a lot of things. So even after this 1 year of course, of website making and everything, so you finally got a job.
Yeah. In 2009, I got my first job. It was a software development job. Did it for 8 months. The other job I got was in KRA.
How much was your first pay? Official pay. Now, this is my first ever salary.
It was 40,000.
40.
Yes.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Well,
40,000.
I would say we were blessed because I remember most people used to get 20 actually. Just got someone who was willing to pay 40,
40.
but we used to do serious work.
But 40, that one guaranteed you in an uptown living environment.
Yeah. Actually started making good money and I slowed down on my other activities of trying to make website once in a while I get one. Because
do
the
it
work
better.
there was a lot. But 40,000 then was some good money. I was not married, no responsibility, nothing. It was some good money.
So ni sherehe tu
Ni
sasa.
sherehe tu sasa. Okay, sio sherehe.
No, it's okay. So now from there, now you move into, now you move to KRA.
Yeah, I moved to KRA, did another 8 months.
Hey, what ilikuwa plan? 8 months, 8 months.
This is availability of opportunities. Most of the time when you get a job, you usually look for, they say, greener pastures.
Yes.
A way better opportunity that the one in KRA was on contract. Otherwise, I would have stayed for longer because KRA is one of the best employers in the country.
True that.
It was on contract, so I knew on contract basis you are not assured of the future. So you had to keep looking.
Oof. Yeah. So from KRA, so when does username as an idea, does it start hitting your mind? That now you're starting to have interest in terms of land selling. When does it now start becoming an idea?
Let me go back. I did 8 months in KRA and 5 years in Safaricom, my last employment.
You work for Safaricom?
Yes. I'm mentioning that because Safaricom used to be the biggest organization around. Still is actually the biggest.
Still is the biggest, and of course the biggest brand in terms of
Central Africa. And everyone wanted to work there, especially if you are coming from engineering and computer background. See, that's the very best place where you can expose yourself. So we used to have those desires for many years. I applied so many times. So after KRA, I remember I did so many interviews. The first one I failed, it was customer experience job. I'm glad I did because I could not have really hacked that job. It's not.
I like that you're glad you did.
I'm glad I did because I got a better opportunity. And number two, I also realized later that's a job that's not in my blood. So I worked it for 5 years, but username started way before. We registered in 2010 for the reason I
remember,
before.
yes.
Yeah. But looking back, you see, like I said, some of these things we do, most of them are either by accident or you are just trying. No one is 100% sure about it.
Wacha nijaribu, kikubali ni
Yeah,
sawa.
ikukubali. You just directed. I mean, you take what is, and that's the way life is. You can't wait for perfect opportunities. You have to take what is on the table, work around it, enjoy it, and find opportunities there. That's what happens. And so registered in 2010. One of the things that I realized, I liked real estate. I do like real estate. And I used to say if I was coming from a background where maybe we did a lot of career stuff, I would have done architecture. I just like design. Everything.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I like design. So looking back, I got interested in real estate. And I used to say one of the things we wanted to do at the beginning, we wanted to do construction. We wanted to construct homes, and we have companies who are doing that. Construct homes, then we sell them. You design very beautiful homes,
Then release.
very units, then you sell them. Actually, that was the initial username real estate concept, but it is very expensive. So number one is interest. Over time, I figured out I'm a guy who likes design. So where do you do that? Most likely in the housing sector. Number two, real estate was growing very fast, especially from up to 2004. I know there are companies that got in at that point in time. Like I said, entrepreneurs are people who see opportunities
Grab on
and
it.
you grab on them. So when we registered username, then after some time, I have some friends who have known each other from college days. Many years we know them, and they became my co-founders, and they are friends. They were friends first, actually, then became my co-founders. We used to talk about the same things. So when time came, we found ourselves in real estate. So it is out of interest. Number two is the opportunity that was beckoning.
Provided at that
We
time.
could see this is where. The other thing is, and I have shared this in the past. See, I used to be in Safari. My last job, Safaricom used to pay well in terms of salaries. Actually, it's competitive, not just in Kenya, right? So we used to employ so many young people. Actually, most people in Safaricom at that point were
I
very
think
young.
until now, Safaricom
Yeah,
is still very
we
keen
were
on.
the age of Gen Zs now, right? That time. So I used to look at my colleagues, and most people want to invest in real estate. They can't even buy houses. It's out of reach, even with very good pays. And I used to feel this is a big opportunity. All these people we work with and many other organizations, they are trying to invest in property, but it was so difficult. That time, we used to have people who used to sell very expensive property, including land. Used to be in millions. Hizi shamba za bei ya chini zimekuja na akina username. He never used to be
Imesaidia
there.
watu
So
wengi
we
sana.
saw an opportunity and we felt we can serve that market and be able to at least give them an opportunity to own properties in Kenya, starting with land. So opportunity plus interest. And then we used to be friends with my co-directors for a long time. So I knew them. I would not say inside out, but to a larger extent, to a point where I knew they were interested in business. They are people of integrity. They are people who are visionary.
So basically, there was trust.
Yeah.
Trust and a common goal.
Yeah, so in 2013, that's when we started operations. We wanted to do a housing estate. We were inspired by one of the biggest company then. But then we realized capital was not enough, and we felt the best way to start off was starting by selling land, affordable land. And we did the first project in 2013, second project in 2014, third project in 2015.
Whoa.
Then I resigned. I'm not saying that's why we started moving faster, but it contributed. Then from 2016 to 2017, I think we did more than five projects. I can't remember the exact number. In 2016 alone, more than 5 projects. We started scaling up, and 2017, so many others, to a point where right now we are talking about more than 60. I can't
60
remember
projects.
Yeah, more than 60 projects.
How-
Things have been growing.
So
we thank God.
and until today, Bwana Chairman, how many hectares of land has username sold in totality?
I don't have the number, but I think it's thousands of acres.
Hallelujah.
Yes.
What do you think makes username stand out compared to all the other guys in the market?
One of the if you get into real estate, even as an individual, one of the things that has been happening, though right now we have companies that are really reliable and they are trustworthy, you are baptized by fire. And you'll find that most people are very afraid of investing in our sector because you'll be baptized. There are so many fraudsters.
Yes.
Even today, they are still there, but the numbers has reduced. That time when we started, it used to be very difficult. And you are no exception. So you are baptized by fire. I think this story has been shared. We lost 5 million. 5 million was a lot of money for a company.
Oof.
We were starting because it was people's, nakutana na wewe, unanichangia, my savings and stuff like that. And it went, they say it drank water.
Clearly.
The
Kunywa
Kenyan
maji.
kunywa
Maji.
Kunywa maji. So that was very painful at the beginning. So one of the things that really inspired us, we knew most people are going through the same problems. Most people are very afraid of investing, and we felt, I think, us knowing ourselves, we can be able to offer something. And that's why we call ourselves a tradition of trust.
Yes.
We can be able to offer a vehicle, an organization that can be trusted I know there are several others, but there were not very many. There have been many scandals over time, right?
Yes, a lot of
There are
them,
people who
court
cannot be
cases and
trusted.
everything. Yeah.
So we said we'll do our very best, and we had deliverables. Title deeds lazima tupatiane. We removed even charges for doing site visits. Never used to be free. Other people, companies have come later and they are not charging. We removed all those things, and we also said that we have to keep our word at all costs. We have lost in the process actually. For you to have integrity and keep it for so long, sometimes you suffer. Most customers will not know this, but we go through a lot in the background just to ensure that you get your title deed, just to ensure that you get that land and it is clean. Ourselves, you go through a lot, and that's a business. I have accepted. It's like a calling. You have accepted to serve. You have to do
It's
the right
painful,
thing
but
to
yes.
ensure when you get your title deed, you'll not have problems. And you'll find there are companies that go down because they are not even able to manage some of the problems in the sector. And if you are listening to me, you know people who have been looking for their title deeds for so long, 5 years, 10 years, some other 30 years. They have never gotten it because that process has been very difficult in our country. So we invested a lot in lawyers, in capacity, professionals, like you are saying, surveyors, and all those people to ensure that we can do it in good time. The other thing is due diligence. We were conned because at that time we were not very good in due diligence when we started. But immediately once beaten, twice shy. Immediately you are beaten, you have to learn how to ensure you are not beaten again. So we learned so many things. We do serious due diligence such that if you are buying land from us, you can be sure these guys have invested a lot to find out if the land is clean. So number one was to just a tradition of to just give trust to the market. That really helped us because over those 10 years, sidhani umesikia username na
Sijawahi.
shida.
In fact, I think even
By
when
the
I
time you are hearing, most of the time that problem has people have talked to you, you are not willing and stuff like that. You have not, because we behind the scenes we handle so many things. Yeah, we handle so many. The other thing is affordability. That concept of affordability was not there. Affordability is not cheap. It's not the same thing.
those are two different
We are
things.
talking about something of value to you. These are properties,
Yes.
but it is within reach, right? Especially for those who want to build homes. If you go to Ngong, where we have done so many projects, so many, you find people who are living there. They have built homes, very beautiful homes. And imagine they were buying those properties for 259. The last time I checked, the same properties are going for 1 million, because what happens, we used to do a lot of research and we were saying, even if we are ensuring that you can get, you can trust our company username, we also have to give you something of value, something that you're not just buying. You see, people buy land very far away in places with zero civilization, right? Such that you can't even go there. If you are to pay a plane or a vehicle, you'll spend more than the value of the land because that land is valueless. So I'm saying that because in Gong, despite buying at 250,000, right now the land is going for 1 million. We are talking about 5 years or thereabout. Those people are able to build their own homes there. For Gen Z and millennials, I'm one. One of the things you can do, you see, you may not be able to afford those properties that are very prime. Najua watu wanataka kuishi kilelesho hapa.
The likes of
Westlands.
20 million.
Yeah. What happens is that you can be buying properties, especially land, in places that have potential to grow. And because you are not building tomorrow, you might build in 5 years. That place, by that time, will be ready for construction. And you'll find other people who are living there. And during Uhuru's time and Kibaki's time, I think they did a lot of tarmacs. Right now.
True.
Right now, we are paying debts. You'll find other governments will come. Places with zero infrastructure, after 5 years, they'll have roads. And that's where people will be living. You'll actually realize if you have to wait for 5 years, you'll buy at 1 million. And today you can buy maybe at 250,000.
That's why for me, I
or
think...
Gen Z and millennials. But you have to buy from trusted companies like Username Investment.
Of course, there can only be one that
So
comes
those
to
two
mind.
factors did help the company to grow. Then all of us, and our core values, professionalism, we are very determined.
Yes.
We used to do a lot of stuff in a very short period of time. We were hungry for success. And we really push and we thank God it worked, because it's not all the time when you work hard that your things work. People have to know that you can work hard and it
And
refuses
things
to
don't
work.
work out.
Not that you are lazy, but you just maybe working hard on something that could not work.
Nice. Taking you back, and of course, thank you so much for all those for the wisdom nuggets that you've been dropping from the beginning. In the beginning, we spoke about knowing when it's time to expand the organization. I know the last time we met, you were carrying the title of the CEO, and now you're carrying the title of chairman, of course, to the board of directors. And when I came to the office, of course, we talked about the partnership between Dr. Ofweneke and Username. I met a lady by the name Sarah, who's now the CEO of the company. And I guess I would just want Sarah to join us in the conversation. And let's get to know what is the next step. Where are we heading with Username? Because I'm also interested also, not only as a partner, but also as a customer. What next are we expecting? And what is that new thing? What is that one thing with about ladies and shambas? Because for us, our parents, as long as wako na mahali pa kukatakata mashamba ya inheritors, our dads, yes, that means. But our moms are really warming up to the idea. Ladies are really warming up to the idea of acquiring land and everything. So let's now invite Sarah to be part of the conversation. And of course, you've just seen on that video what some of the properties that we actually have are username properties. And I can tell you, I'm not just making noise about username because of anything. It's because I am also a landowner, a proud landowner under username properties. And of course, the process has been nothing less than smooth. When you check, in a few weeks, you'll be checking on my Instagram and my TikTok pages on showing you the story of how I acquired land from username property. So please, as you continue talking, the info numbers are on the screen. Our sales team are ready to serve you whichever places you are. And they're ready to actually inquire which other places or areas are you actually interested in getting yourself a piece of land. Remember, it's not about the piece of land. It's also about the process of actually getting the piece of land. Is it trustworthy? The title deal process. Are they, what is the client service? How are they treating you at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen? So please, make sure you call the number on the screen. Get to know. Apart from Matu, apart from Nexus, apart from Rongai, Kiboso, what other places can we actually serve you? Ladies and gentlemen, before I show you that video, I told you we're going to be introducing our CEO, Madam Sarah, live on the show as well. Less is a 30. Karibu sana CEO.
Thank you.
How are
so
you?
Much. I'm good.
How does it feel to be part of Username Property, the best and most trusted of them all?
Yeah, it feels great. It's an opportunity to serve the people. So I feel really honored.
You feel really honored?
Yeah.
Before you joined Username,
Yes.
what was your thought ukiwa nje? What was your perception about Username ukiwa nje?
You know, Dr. Ofweneke, I've had a long history with Username. So
Yes.
even before I came back as the CEO, I was initially the first finance manager at Username.
Oh,
Yeah.
so umewahi nilipa indirectly?
Yeah.
Kitambo?
Yes, exactly. So I was telling you the other day, I saw you guys when you were very, very young, very thin.
Well, hapo kwa thin, usiende mbali sana. No changes sana, lakini mfuko ndio imenona. Hiyo time ilikuwa ndogo.
Yeah.
So over the years,
Yes.
what do you think Username has improved on from the time you were finance director and then you left and you came back?
Of course, the organization has grown in terms of headcount, in terms of the property varieties, in terms of the employees, because username has employed professionals. Yeah, size, the username moved to their own location, fully owned offices,
Nice.
grown into 3 branches. Yeah, so it has been growth throughout,
Growth all the way.
all the way.
Let me ask, Bonachia, were you keen, apart from the skills that you've talked about, were you also keen on the gender balance?
Yeah. What I would like to say, at username, we have been keen to get the right people
Yes.
from the very beginning. And I would be very honest, we don't necessarily consider gender. But over time, for some roles, we have realized whoever comes on top, we end up having more ladies than gentlemen. Even for a very serious position, you have a CEO here. So we hire based on competence. Because business, I would like to say, has integrity.
Yes.
Any business you are running, it will not work if you don't do things right.
Good.
We don't have based on this is a man, this is a
The
woman.
woman.
No.
So what can you do?
What can you do for us?
Beautiful.
Yes.
Sarah, let me ask. Okay, if you look at, if you study your statistics within the company, your back end, and even the trajectory of how guys are buying land, I'm between men and women, who are buying more land?
What I would say, traditionally, men have always acquired more land than women.
Yes.
But women have also really pulled up their socks, especially with the 2010 Kenyan constitution. Remember, women could not even inherit land.
True.
Yeah, so that has changed, and we see the trend changing where more and more women are acquiring land compared to men. But that does not mean that women have overtaken men. It's just that the trend, we can see a lot of growth in terms of more women acquiring land.
Actually run.
Yeah.
In terms of ages and generations?
Definitely for millennials and the age above millennials, we see
Boomers.
we see them acquiring more land. I mean, acquiring land as a form of investment. For Gen Zs, it's not yet very clear because, of course, Gen Zs, they have different tastes and all that kind of a thing. However, what we are very, very sure is that when they become more mature, they will still need land. So probably for them, the priority right now is about a car, is about the gadgets, is about probably living in a more prime area.
Poshy too.
Posh, where they
Yes.
don't need to commute like some of us. But with time, they might need to acquire homes for their families, because you know this is a generation that is growing. They will get married, they will have kids, and that kind of a thing. So that trend will change for sure.
In terms of reasons for buying land,
Yes.
what is the highest rated reason why? Is it investment? Is it in? Because I know let me speak for where I come from. My cultural background as a lawyer. I think I was sharing with Abigail in the office the other day, and the marketing team, that lunges, we don't really buy for investments. For us, we're buying because we must leave something for our children. I got 3 beautiful girls, and now that the 2020 promulgated, the new constitution allowed that even the female gender to actually inherit land as well. So I mean, after ndache watu yangu mashamba. For us, it's not really based on investment. But what are the major reasons why people are actually buying land?
Actually, Ofweneke, if you ask me, even that land that you're buying for your kids is investment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's still investment. So land mainly is acquired as a vehicle, an investment vehicle. So whether you're buying to build a home, whether you're buying to leave it to your kids, whether you're buying to develop, it's still a form of investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. If you're watching this and you've not gotten yourself a piece of land, I don't know what you're waiting for. Again, the number is on the screen. You need to get yourself something. Which are our prime areas right now that we are selling at username?
We have footprints across the country, but we are very big in Nakuru. And currently we are selling at a very good price of 650,000 for a property that you can build and live and go to work. Yeah, so I mean that the current property that you're selling in Nakuru is in between two tarmacs, the Rongai tarmac and the Nakuru Eldoret
Oh,
highway.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so we are not selling in the bundus. It's ready to build kind of a property. We have been very big in Nakuru for a while now, for a number of years. However, we also have very good properties in Kisumu, currently selling a quarter at just 599,000. We have properties in Gong going for 699 on offer currently. We have in Matu going for 250,000. However, we also have other properties in Juja and other areas in the country. Yes.
Branches.
For our offices, we have 3 offices. Our headquarters is at Lemak Towers, 4th floor. That is in Westlands. We have an office in town, International Lifehouse, 6th floor. We also have an office in Nakuru, Assumption Center, 4th floor.
Oof. So guys have no excuse at all of not owning a piece of land.
Sure.
Kai, my God. But Chair, before we wrap up on the interview this afternoon, the initial idea, of course, was to put up was a plan for housing.
Yeah.
The initial vision for Username. Now that the company has grown in terms of structure and even longevity in the business, are we looking at Username now getting back to that? That vision of now knowing now you can actually sell me a piece of land at the same time before niende unanivuta kotu nambe na bado tunaweza kujengea.
That's something we have strongly considered, done math. But over time, we have learned something else. Like we said, for you to be able to move forward, you have to be in the field,
Yes.
doing the very thing so that you can get direction. We have been doing this business for some time now, building, providing people with affordable land where they can build their own homes and
Yes.
invest. But he also learned that most Kenyans, and I would say even 80 or 90%, most people want to do something called stage-by-stage development.
Yes.
The numbers of people who buy ready-made properties is very few. Purely because of financing. Most people don't have the millions or they can't afford that mortgage to buy that property.
Yes.
So we have learned that most people want to do stage-by-stage development. Unakuja unamwaga mawe, unaweka foundation, you do the
Unakimbia
structure,
kidogo.
the roofing, the interiors. In less than 5 years, you are done instead of taking a mortgage. So what have we done as a company to be able to meet that need is to ensure you provide land that is ready to build. Like Sarah has talked about that project in Nakuru that is touching two tarmacs. It's touching tarmac just next to the highway. I mean, it's less than 20 minutes drive from the city. So this is a place where you can build. Then we fence it, you do the roads, the steamer is there and all those kind of amenities. Your work is to come with your mawe, tunakupatia title, the cost is inclusive, as low as it is. Tunakupatia, you just come with your mawe, your mafundi, and you start building. Ukitaka foundation hii mwaka, next year ufanye structure, that kind of a thing.
At your own
So
time.
we have been trying to meet that need. The other thing I wanted to say, and that's why you find government doing affordable housing. There are so many things, and the sector has been asking the government, please reduce taxes on so many things, including building materials, and incentivize so that it becomes profitable for developers. If you look at the sector right now, very few people, or almost none, are doing affordable housing because it is a loss-making enterprise for entrepreneurs. Because we need incentives to make it profitable for Ruben and other entrepreneurs to come and do business there. That's why we find we are trying to address what Kenyans need more. They need land where they can be able to build tomorrow. And ready run. And that's what Username is very good at. Go to Kisumu, another tarmac, touching another tarmac. Nakuru, touching another tarmac. Gong, where properties have risen from like it used to be 150,000 to almost 1 million right now. The span, because tarmac is there. It's 40 kilometers from the city. What else do you need? And many other projects across the country that we are doing. There are places where you are you can come and you are ready to start.
Plug and play. Sarah, as we finish up, let's talk about the most delicate part about actually acquiring land, and that is the whole title deed conversation. And whilst it looks like a difficult conversation to other land sellers, it has actually become a selling point and a strength for username properties. How easy have you guys made it for us as customers?
We have made it extremely simple and seamless. And we keep telling our clients that if you invest with username, you are double sure that you will not be losing your investment. So, Ofweneke, for me, the most delicate bit is the due diligence bit when we are acquiring the land. Because if you acquire clean land, then you will not have any issues. But if you acquire an unclaimed land, you will struggle even to give your clients titles. So the acquisition bit is the most delicate.
Right from the back end.
Yes.
Woof. Guys, you have been told. So please, I don't know what you're worrying about. So get on your mobile phone, get on that phone, call the service number, call their service agents. The branches are all over. Of course, we got 3 branches here. And also Nakuru. I mean, those who use the Nairobi, Kakamega, Western, Kisumu region area. There's always that one popular identity when you get into Nakuru. At the flyover, you'll always see a username property there. For me, it's the most memorable one for me. Make sure you do so, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself a piece of land. I am coming, yo ya kibosi ko karibu na kwangu. Sababu mimi natoka hapo Huisero. I'm actually building my house, ndio sasa inaanza kupanda. So I wouldn't mind also acquiring a piece. And you've opened my eyes. That is not only for, you've broken a culture mentality already that I don't need to buy for inheritance. I can actually buy, and the government also setting up a lot of academic institutions. I can actually set one there for hostels and everything around. Either when you're hapa my Kisumu, my Kibabii, na hapo around. So it's a conversation we can have. So ladies and gentlemen, tonight was about username properties. I don't know what you're waiting for. If I, Dr. Ofweneke, I have gotten myself a piece of land there, then I don't think there's any time to waste. How many days after full completion of payment do I get my title deed?
Within, for example, the Kisumu one, within 60 days.
Within 60 days?
Yes, you have your title
I'm
deed.
good to go.
Yeah.
Good. Number 2, when somebody goes to do the due diligence, even at the Ministry of Lands and everything, you have already procured the lands and it's ready for sale.
Yes. It's in username, name, the mother title.
The mother title,
Yes.
the username property.
Yes.
Guys, I mean, what other assurance do you have? Ndaka Yesu akuja kukatia wewe mwenyewe ndio wewe ndio ujichukulie shamba. Now, ladies and gentlemen, username properties, this is a specially bought episode powered by username properties. Ladies and gentlemen, get yourself a piece of land. At least, even if you don't have the resources and the immediate financial power to do so, do take a step of faith. Just even do an inquiry. From there, you never know. And there's actually a payment plan, isn't it?
Yes.
So si ati uchukue yote kama ya matu, uchukue yote 1,200 na ati ndatoa wapi ndauza TV na niuze kidney. No, there's actually a payment plan. Once you call, not only is it business, but they also have a human heart to listen to you and listen to your financial needs in terms of how can you be able to also be the next landowner. You never know, you could be Dr. Ofweneke's next guest. Thank you so much. I do appreciate. Chairman, all the best to your next venture and the growth of username. Madam CEO, I pray that God will give you the strength and the grace to carry forth his vision. And even for us customers, I think we are indebted. And on behalf of all of them and all the testimonials, we are proud to be associated, of course, with a company that has built itself on trust and credibility. Asante sana.
Thank you so
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Eagle himself, the Duke of Kakamega. Dr. Ofweneke is my name. See you again on the next one. This is Lessons at 30. If you have not learned anything about entrepreneurship and just getting yourself into the system, and at least let the system see that you showed up. That is what I've learned from the chair. Let the system show that you showed up. then the system will respond to the kind of energy that you'll be having. Santeni sana, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe on Dr. Ofweneke TV. But before we leave, there's something that we need to do, something very special, right? And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is also important to remember that, of course, it is our chairman's birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, birthday.
Yeah, happy
birthday to you.
1, 2,
Happy
3,
birthday
here we go.
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Nice one, nice one, nice one. Nice one, nice one, nice one. My coffee. So from username properties, from 9 to today, just So now from username properties, from Pro Studios, which is the production house for Lessons at 30, and from 92 degrees, the home of Lessons at 30. We just want to wish you a happy birthday. May God bless you. May God enrich you with more wisdom and more grace to continue pushing forward with this vision.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday, my